passes resolution 10 and 11 of ordinance 2011-09-30. Motion has been made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Well, next on the agenda is consider the matter of
Auralia.
Orala Vasquez zoning and the variance issue. I guess that's the person that has the 40-year-old trailer. And I guess we saw pictures of that. So she wants a waiver or exception to move it in. What do you think about that?
I think we have enough trashy looking trailer houses in town with people promising that they're going to clean them up.
I remember seeing those pictures, but refresh my memory where it's at.
It's not here. It's in Denver
Renee.
City.
Oh. But Renee's silenced. Renee needs to talk. There you go.
She's wanting to move it into 1122 on 13th Street. The trailer park that used to belong to the Hernandez, across from Garden Apartments, that last trailer space.
Back behind the Garden Apartments?
It's just north. It's on the north side of the street by the Garden Apartments. It's where that trailer park exists now.
Over there by where, just west of the old junior high, where Rufus
That's
Wilson
correct.
used to have those.
Yes. Yeah. I hadn't been over that way in a while, but it's pretty rough looking, isn't it?
No, it's
not
cleaned up.
bad.
Oh, it's been cleaned up.
Yes, it looks pretty good.
Does anybody remember what the pictures look like? Is it terrible looking?
It is terrible.
Well, if y'all think it looks bad, Shannon,
Can we make an exception? How, give her like 3-4 months to fix it up, or just leave it with that? No. Okay.
I don't think so, because once she gets it here, then she's going to be like, well, it's here, so I don't have to do anything.
Kind of like a Frank Vasquez situation.
yeah, we can't get right.
Agreed.
The other issue that I had with it is her lot is really not very big. It's only like 34 foot wide. It's the very end, and it's just not even a full lot.
Oh. Yeah, that'd be pretty narrow.
And the guy that lives next door has 2 18-wheelers that he usually parks on that lot.
Mm.
And I did talk to her about that. He said that he was not going to park there, that he knew that she was wanting to move a trailer in. So I figured they had that worked out.
You think she'll make that as an excuse that we didn't do it?
I mean, I think we need to keep in mind now that this is a 40-year-old trailer. And if we make exception to that, that means everybody else has got the same chance.
Yes, sir.
Less than that. So, I mean, I hate to do it, but I mean, that to me, that means leave the door open for everybody, almost. But it's just, I know times are hard right now, but we still, I mean, we got certain guidelines and things we got to still stand up to. But But just keep that in mind when you make the decision.
I say no.
I say no.
I
I say
say
no.
no,
No.
no.
It would have been different if she would have made the changes to the trailer house and had it fixed up before she presented it to us. That it was like, look, it's 40 years old, but I've done all this work on it. And when all I have to do is move it in and put my underpinning on and it'll look fine. That would be one thing. But if she hadn't done any work on it since it's been sitting there for 40 years, what makes us think she's going to do it in the next 40?
Yeah.
And Renee, remind us, but isn't there we have our zoning, whatever, call it. It has that it can't be older than,
20 years old.
20.
Yeah. Then no.
this is just asking for a variance and if you, do we need to make a motion?
Yes, let's just do it for the record.
I make a motion that we do not grant the variance for the trailer house in the matter of Aurelia Vasquez.
I second it.
Motion has been made and second to do not allow the 40-year-old trailer to come into the city limit. Seagraves. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. Next on the agenda is the consider the matter of Armando Garcia zoning and variance for the I guess that's the little storage building that he got in his front yard. So discussions.
What's the address on that one?
Eddie
It's
Pilla's old house. Across from Hilda Nichols. Where Greg Art was living.
Ruben?
I got pictures,
Dennis.
Mayor. I got pictures so we can share and where we're at on it. Cause let me see here if I can put it right here. You see it, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's coming from the cemetery going on Avenue F. The storage building's on the right side. That when it's right there on your right. This is the building that's right next to the house, not in the front. And that's a little ways. This is the street going to the EMS building. The house is on the left. You see a pecan tree on your left side. There's a trailer there. There's a car there. The storage building is not nowhere inside. And here's a little bit back up. You see the storage building backed up in there. That's what we're at right there. That's where the storage building is at. That's what it looked like.
Charles.
Yes.
What was he given a citation or something? Tell me what's
Yeah.
going on.
Well, no, he was asked several times to go and pick up an application so he could apply for a permit, and he never done that.
Well,
think- Yes.
on the permit, is that for like a permanent building? Like you're gonna put something, you're gonna be permanent? That's a movable building there.
That's a
building can be
permit to
moved.
put- A permit to, still, let's add into the property. I mean, that value's got to be added to his appraisal
Okay.
value.
I don't think he has a problem getting a permit. That I know he'd say he doesn't have a problem getting a permit. But the issue is getting a variance seat and pay $75. That's a different story there to me. Now, I don't see a problem. I don't know. I mean, I'm just seeing that. I don't know.
I mean, I hear where you're coming from. I see where you're just saying it does not block any of the traffic, the view. But the problem is you got to consider It is in the front yard. And if you allow people to start putting them in the front yard, everybody gonna build a storage building in the front yard. That's my opinion now. I mean, it's not blocking the view, but the problem is, I think we open the doors for other people to start building storage buildings in the front yard. I'm not saying how to rule. I'm just reminding you what can happen.
I'll admit personally, I've driven by it. I do not see a problem with it where it's at, as long as it's used personal. If it's a business type or something like that, yes, I have a problem. But he doesn't have a backyard, literally. I don't know if y'all have looked, but you know, I mean, where if it's, you know, to me, it's to the side of his house. I guess it's, but I'm not for sure how the ordinance, to me, it's not in the front yard. It's to the side of his house. So it doesn't block any, you know, traffic going either way, but that's my opinion.
It is part of it is in the front yard.
It's in front of the fence, yeah. Or the carport.
To me, it's no different than having a carport, but beside your house.
Yeah.
And I think that carport, the garage, whatever, not a picture on there, but the carport or garage is a little bit more in the front than that storage building, because it's already added onto the house. It's more up front than it is that storage building.
Can I say something?
Sure.
The ordinance says that you can't have anything on the corner lot past the edge of the house. Because we have such a wide right of way, on corner lots, you're not supposed to have any structures. And it is out past his house. It may not be for the add-on for the garage in the front, which is farther out on the property line than it should be. But he didn't ask before he moved it in. He didn't get a permit before he moved it in. If he had to talk to me about it, I would have told him that it wouldn't fit there. But that didn't happen. And I have asked him twice, called him and asked him twice to go and get a variance from City Hall so this could be heard at the City Council and put on the agenda. And he told me both times he would, but he failed to do so. And that is stated in that zoning ordinance that has to be done to go before the Board of Adjustment, which he did not do. And that's all I have to say about it. And he didn't get a citation. He got an official letter, which is what I'm required to do by ordinance, letting him know that his placement of that storage building was not acceptable.
So, Dan, if we allow that, will we have to make exceptions to some changes to our ordinance?
Well, the ordinance itself, we all know needs some work, but the part of it having to go before a variance board, that's pretty plainly spelled out in the ordinance. And we don't have a variance board sitting right now, so that's why it defers to the City Council to become that in the stead of the variance board. So yeah, it's all I really have to say. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me much one way or the other, but once again, it's a Frank Vasquez kind of a situation where all you have to do is be stubborn and you're going to get to do what you want to do, is what it looks like to me. I don't know any more about any of that though.
Can I ask something?
Sure.
Renee, if he turned that building around, would it work as far as lined up with his house?
Well,
All I can tell you is quote what the ordinance says, and it says that on a corner lot, you can't have anything between you and the house itself, the footprint of the house, to the property line.
So how much over is
We
he?
know all
How
the
much?
way.
All the way?
Yes.
Shannon.
Is he using that as part of his business though? Because doesn't he do remodeling? Is that a different person?
No, that's
No.
him.
I mean, he does remodeling, but I don't know what I mean, maybe a storage building. I don't know what he's using it for. I don't know.
Sorry, I wasn't sure if I was talking about the right person.
Mhm.
I want to just say something, and I may be speaking out. I think we're going to have a bigger problem with the way he parks cars there
That's what yes.
than the storage building. Now, Ruben, I don't know, he may be your best friend. I drive down that road 10 times a day. And there's been numerous times that I have not been able to see good because there's 15 vehicles parked in that place. Now, that's me. What do you think, Ruben? Have you been by there?
I've been by there. I mean, he got his truck, he got his trailer there. I mean,
Oh, no.
No,
I mean, I go home. I come home. I go to work, back and forth. I don't drive around town. So what he does, I don't know. I don't know what's out there.
I can take a bunch of pictures.
You
and
drive more than I do around, so I don't know.
Well, I can take a bunch of pictures. It's hard to drive down that road and
Yeah.
watch the cars coming from in front of his house. I mean, like I said,
But we're talking about storage building. We're not talking about how much vehicles are over there.
do realize that.
Yeah,
But I think we're
okay.
gonna have to be dealing with something else later, is what
Well,
I'm telling you.
that'll be a later talk. Yeah.
And I agree because the vehicles, he parks them on the outside of his fence.
Yep,
That's where I'd have a problem.
yes. Maybe he needs it for driveway.
Kendra.
Well,
I was just
Yeah.
gonna give my 2 cents worth, but I don't have a problem with the storage building. I guess I didn't understand what Renee was saying. He's not supposed to have anything between his house and Tinker Street? Is that what
That's
you're
correct.
saying?
To the property line, yes. Because there's about a 25-foot setback between the street and the property line. And then he's got to have at least 5 feet, which he has a little more. But on corner lots, and it's because it's a corner lot, you're not supposed to have any storage buildings or anything that would impede the vision of traffic on corner lots. The setbacks are even different on corner lots. They're 20 foot on each side because it's a corner lot.
Well, just to finish to give my 2 cents worth, but I don't have a problem with it. I studied it. I drove all directions around it, and I don't have a problem with that storage building. I agree with all the cars. That's a problem, but that's not an ordinance, or maybe it is. But what we're addressing now with the storage unit, I don't have a problem with.
okay, I mean, I hear what everyone is saying. It seems like everyone is saying it's okay, but we still need to make an exception because it does violate our ordinance. So if we want to do that, I guess we need to make a vote on it.
Where can we look this ordinance up, Renee?
It's in the zoning ordinance.
Is that online, Dan?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it is.
I can't remember what section it is, but if Ruben will tell you, it's on the letter that he has a picture of.
Oh, Ruben, tell me, please.
All right. Let me see here. Let me find it because he also sent me this, and I'm like, okay, let me just share it with everybody else. So let me see if I can find it real quick.
There's quite a few cars parked there in the picture.
It's terrible. I'm telling you, we're gonna be dealing with that later. And I like them, aren't
That's the letter that was sent to him, and I said, okay. I said, I'll show everybody else. So this is
where does it say?
Says section 6.
Section 6, okay. And it says that I can't get on the ordinances.
Yeah, that that website is not much good, and I know Brad's working on it, but
Oh, okay.
we're
Well, if you can read that letter, it's verbatim, it's word for word.
Oh, okay. Visibility of the intersection.
Can I throw something in while y'all are looking at that?
Mm-hmm.
Dan mentioned that Brad Townsend is working on getting the Sig Race page updated and stuff. And he did ask me about trying to get a picture of everyone. Either you can send them all to me or something that, would look semi-professional or something that he could put on the website, because he said, like, as of right now, it's like basically a shadow or something. But he had sent me that a while back, and I have to apologize, I forgot. Anyway, back to the whole thing of the building. I'm sorry.
In this case, maybe because of his backyard, he does not have any room for a storage building that side, because they've converted pretty much to a two-car carport. And he does not. I mean, with that in mind, that maybe could help us to in the future is the reason why we made this decision.
If he moves his fence in front of that instead of between it and the carport, would that help?
Move his fence, what do you mean?
There's a fence that is at the of his carport. Moved it in front of the porch thing and made it part of his backyard. Would that
I
suffice
don't
it?
know.
Renee, how far out does that portable building reach past the end of his house?
Oh, probably about 3 foot, 3-4 foot. You see,
So
at the end of the fence is, yeah, it's probably a good 3-4 foot. The thing of it is if you put a fence around it, how would he get in and out?
From the back, he would open up from the carport. I mean, he'd have to do something, but it would be.
Could he move it closer to his house?
I don't think so. I don't think you can go back.
No, I mean, turn it around and face it toward the street.
Oh, I think it's too long that way. I don't think it'll fit. I think it's too.
And it would protrude out past the property line.
I don't even think he owns this, does he?
It's showing that it still belongs to Robert Pillow.
That's what I looked up.
I think he's buying it off of him. I think they're rent to own or something like that.
Ooh.
Something, I don't know. I just know he's.
I was trying to look at the, like, satellite view of it, but I can't get it pulled up.
Would it be that current?
Oh, not that it has it, but just so I could kind of see what his yard situation looks like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he really doesn't have much of a yard. I'm not smart like Ruben to show y'all, but if you look at the satellite view of it, there's really not much yard.
No, it's really not.
I think we're spending way too much time on it. I think we need to figure out something.
I think we need to allow for him to leave it there. Like Kendra said, I think we're going to have bigger issues with the vehicles that are there, and we can use the excuse that Charles said, because he doesn't have to allow it, you know, but our ordinance will stay the same. We'll just have to do it like we've done in the past. It's per situation, or you know, with whoever comes before us.
Sounds good to me.
Well, I make a motion that we grant the variance to allow Armando Garcia to leave his storage building where it's at currently.
Did I hear a second?
I second.
Motion has been made and second to allow Armando Garcia to leave his storage building where it's located in the front backyard. All in favor? All
Ruben?
opposed?
Now, he does need to go get a permit.
What about a variance variance?
We'll get him a
request?
permit.
No, he still has to go through that process. Get the application, then go and get it from Renee, I guess, and then. So I guess we can still go ahead and pass it tonight, but he still needs to go through that process.
Well, I'm confused. Go through what process?
I thought that's what we're doing right now. We don't have a
Well,
variance board.
Now he still has to get a permit.
Yeah, permit, yes, but a
And a
variance board,
That's what's required by the ordinance.
But we don't have a variance board right now. We are the final decision.
But that's a variance. That's a variance to the ordinance.
What are you
Are
saying we
we-
need to do, Renee?
I'm just saying that he needs to go and get the variance application so that it's recorded.
And
You
that's
have
gonna
to have
charge,
it.
and then it'll be a $75 fee.
Yes, ma'am. That's what the ordinance calls for.
so $75 and then whatever the permit is, so
Be $90.
I agree with Renee. Well, he's asked for a variance, Ruben.
he asks for a
Yeah,
permit, he can get a permit.
And
No.
a variance because it went before y'all. That's what it is. It's a variance to the ordinance. Y'all made a variance.
Yes. That's exactly right.
Yeah. He needs to pay.
It's outside our ordinance. That's why we got to do the variance and prove
That's
that.
right.
That's what we're supposed to be doing, but he just don't have it.
Calvin,
Yes, Dan.
Calvin,
Calvin's needing to talk.
My thought on that variance, isn't that a letter that he's supposed to take around to the neighbors and they say that it doesn't bother them?
Yes,
So
That is,
should the neighborhood have a voice in this?
yeah, you're right, Kevin. I forgot about that.
And that's what I do whenever I get a variance letter. Then I send out those letters to all the neighbors and get their opinion. And then the Board of Adjustment takes them and they consider what the neighbors think. I mean, it's just a little bit of, out of sequence here.
yeah.
Well, we better back up and do that. I mean, have you got any feedback from any of these neighbors?
No, sir, I haven't sent any letters out to them.
Well, okay. Well, we need to do that. We need to go through the process. We need to back up and do everything like we're supposed to. He needs to go get his various application and turn it to Renee so she can send the letters out to the neighborhood. So we need to put this on hold until that happens.
I agree.
Okay, that's what we're gonna do. So that agenda item we put on hold until he go and get his variance application, and we'll go to it the next meeting. We won't have a special meeting for it. We'll just wait till we have our next regular meeting. Maybe by then, Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. No, I'm saying, yeah, consent agenda for 3/9/2020. That is the
George?
one we left off. Kevin,
Yes.
you say something?
No.
Okay.
Lost the video and everything. I don't have nothing.
Okay. I mean, I was just saying that's the agenda item that we left off our last meeting. So I don't know if anyone had any things they want to talk about that or not. But if they didn't, we need to go through the motion of approving those agenda items, the consent agenda for 3/9/2020. I need a motion and a second.
No, I'm still looking over the paperwork.
Mayor, can I ask you what the subject was for that agenda item?
It was just, it was just the public, like the public work and the three teams,
Oh,
the public work, police department, and administration. We
I see,
failed
I understand.
completely on the first one. I mean,
I
the
see.
last meeting.
Ah.
And we got the same thing right behind it. This is just the one that, I mean, there wasn't nothing discussed happened at that time. I'm sure it's been
Yes, sir.
The
rolled
prior,
into.
yeah, no.
I don't think anyone had any questions or anything. It was just something that was left off the agenda.
Yeah, I just need a motion and a second.
I make a motion that we approve last month's agenda, consent agenda.
I second.
Motion has been made and second to approve the consent agenda for 3/9. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. Next is the current agenda, consent agenda item. Consider the to be routine and enacted by one motion. So we got to go through the same process, but at this time we have hired a new chief since that last meeting, and so I'm gonna go through and ask each one of the team leads if they have anything, just to kind of give a rich idea of what we do. So, go ahead, Dana.
Calvin got disconnected and I'm putting him back in right now. If you want to wait just 1 second, let's get him back in.
Okay.
We saw him, but he couldn't see us or hear us anymore. Okay, Calvin, are you back in? Can you see us?
I see him.
Judy? Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Kevin, we on the consent agenda for this meeting, and we're just going through each team lead to see if they have anything unusual to talk about. Everybody, we got their package. So you got anything?
The only thing I have is I sent it last month with the deal. It was where we're going to have to upgrade our program from Hill Country to Local Government Solutions. And it is actually going to double in price because we're going to be hosting with an iCloud. So it's going to, instead of $2,750 a year, it's going to be $5,040. But it's something we're going to have to do because Local Government Solutions bought out Hill Country. So we're going to have to go with them.
Well, we don't have no choice.
But, you know, right now we don't have to worry about it. The only thing is the sooner we get to do it, the sooner we can get on the list because they will come train us and everything.
Yeah.
So we can do it next month or something, just whatever y'all want to do, but that's all I have.
Okay. Renee?
Yes, sir.
Work?
I don't really have anything other than we're ready to start our test with our cuff unit, but we're waiting on the state of Texas. They've kind of shut down on everything, and they want to be here when it gets started up so that they can teach us the protocol and go through it with us. And since they can't travel right now and they're having to work out of home, they've kind of put us on hold for a little bit till this is over. Dana is just about ready to get our application turned in. We're in the stage now. We're fixing to be in the stage of getting the official go-ahead on our loan. And then there's the subject of this coronavirus and how we're handling our work load here. And we kind of talked about that. I sent y'all some information. Do y'all have any questions about that?
I do on when you're saying that some men are working one day, the next crew's working the next. I mean, why working every day? You're just distancing where they're not all coming to the office at the same time. I mean, how is pay going to work on that?
Well, you cut out a little bit, but I think you said, why are they working one day and then the next day? Is that what you said?
Well, the way I got it in note is that you have two crews. One's working one day, the next crew is working the next. So they have every day off. Is that how I read it?
Yes, ma'am. That's basically how it's going. I sent y'all a link to a webinar called TextWarn. Did y'all see that? It was very long and tedious, but what they recommended for me to do, for all the state of Texas utility departments to do, was to split up their crews. And so that if one was exposed to the virus, they would all probably be quarantined. And then I would still have another crew that was able to take those duties so that I won't have everybody off at one time. And then I wouldn't have anybody to do our job. That was the point of it.
I thought they was working, half a crew was working in the morning and half work in the afternoon.
No, sir. The way that we have it set is that every other week, one crew works 3 days that week and one crew works 2 days. And then the next week it's the opposite. And
Okay.
at the end of the day, I'm the one that does the cleaning. And the end of the day, I clean all the surfaces that you normally touch, bathrooms, time clocks, tables, doorknobs, stuff like that, disinfecting everything so that there's no, germs passed back and forth between the two crews.
Okay.
But again, how is the pay? I mean, are we paying for hours that they're not working?
Yes, ma'am, we are. It's required.
Can I say something?
Yes, Sam?
And what we're doing, Deborah, at Lenagar is they also split us up into 2 groups.
Mhm.
And like, I was off all last week, but I had to be readily available. If they called me, I had to be available. It's like, I couldn't be running errands. I couldn't be going out of town. I was to be at home in case they needed me. And like, my group is Group A. And on our time cards, it has something to do with the state and the government. On our time cards, they're entering a certain code that's showing at home per this virus. We have a code that we're typing in that, like, I have a whole week of time cards from last week where everybody was on Group A was off. This week is Group B and they're off all week. Does that make sense? But it's a government thing that is implemented for the utility workers. Am I right, Renee?
Yes, ma'am. And they let us choose how we wanted to do it, as long as we kept them separate. So that's how we worked it out.
The guys on Group B cannot come into the office unless they are called,
Yeah.
unless, they're not to be at the office or anything. And I'm like you, Renee, I sanitize everything from the front door to the back door
Yes,
on
ma'am.
my way out. And then the evening, it's just the people on call. And then on Friday, I'll do it. And then whoever comes in and works the next week, they're responsible for it. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. But I don't have anybody to swap with, though. It's just me.
I'd just soon be at work as to have to go back and finish up what wasn't done.
Right.
Any more questions for Renee?
Dan, are you and Angie both working?
Yes.
Yes, everybody who's in City Hall is still coming every day. And we're spending the whole day here. What we've done is we won't let anybody in the building. And we've got it sanitized, and we're good enough that way. We glove up and put on masks if we have to actually talk to somebody. Sometimes people have to come in for a permit, but we keep them on the other side of the glass, glove and mask for that. And then as soon as they leave, we disinfect the lobby area again. So we're doing everything we can. It's a little tight. We're not maintaining 6 feet of separation between Angie and myself. However, we sit back to back, so that helps quite a bit. If any one of us is contaminated, then all of City Hall is going to be gone for 14 days.
That's how, my office.
And I don't know, I've thought about that too, but all we can really do is try and be as careful as we can, not only while we're here, and I try and hammer it into the other people here too, that when you're conducting yourself on your own time, remember that anybody you talk to has been talking to other people who've been talking to other people who've been talking to other people, so limit your contacts. For myself, I live in Loop with my wife, and that's it. There's nobody around me. And as far as going to the store, I mask and glove if I ever have to go in. Try not to go into stores too. But yeah, it's kind of dangerous. And you know, we're just going to have to hope for the best. I'd feel a little more comfortable in this town if I didn't drive past Lowe's every afternoon and see the parking lot overflowing. I wish there was some sort of social distancing put into effect there. I know they're doing it at the Allsups because Kizzy asked me to give her a copy of the declaration so she could send to her corporate people so that they'd allow her to do that without any problem. And I understood that over the weekend, Dollar General was packed on Sunday, wall to wall, people huddled together inside there. So that increases the risk for all of us, everybody in this town.
Yeah, I've talked to each one of those stores and convenience stores and told them what I'd like to do. We can't make them do anything, and they said they would keep it as a minimum. They didn't ever put a quantity on it. Lowe's didn't, but Allsup and the dollar store said they would. I know the dollar store in Denver City they're patrolling it over there. They don't have 10 people in it at a time. And also is the other grocery store. So I'm going to talk to them again because it's really, I mean, until everybody do it, we're going to have a problem. I mean, we're going to have a big chance of us getting some victims here. And anyway, that's their call.
I was just wondering what City Hall was doing, because if we're doing for one department, you know, I just wondered what Dan and Angie was doing. So that was why I'd asked.
But that was a utility.
Shannon.
Charles, I don't know off the top of my head, I cannot remember who told me this, but somebody had mentioned to me or was asking me about it, that said that you specifically had told them that they did not have to limit the amount of people that come into their businesses, and it was either at Stripes or at Allsups. I don't.
No, they're wrong. No, I told them they could do what they want to, but you know, we'd like to see them at 10. No, I did not say that. No, I told them we don't want them to have any more than 10, but they could do whatever they wanted to.
Okay, well, some people
I mean, we can,
then.
you know, that's just the rules. You know I talked to the mayor of Seminole, and that's, you know, what he asked them to do is he just let one family member go to the store instead of several. And even if they would do that, that would help us. I'll go around again tomorrow and see what we can do. Anybody else for Renee?
Well, if you don't mind me saying, in Seminole at Porter's, they have closed off. They have 2 sliding doors, and they closed off one, and they have 2 people standing at the front, and they have their baskets outside, and they let, when people come out, the amount of people that comes out of the store, they let people go into the store. I don't know what the maximum amount that they have in there at a time, but I know it's not very many. And they sanitize the baskets, and they give you hand sanitizer when you walk in the door. And I know that's what they do at Porter's in Seminole. And
Well,
they have
I asked Lowe's if they would even do that, you know. And they said they're going to try, but I haven't seen that yet.
They have their floors Xed off, and they spray and wipe down their counters between each customer. I know that. I've been there.
Yeah, I saw them do that.
Yeah.
Anything else for Renee? next we have the chief.
All I was gonna do was say, there's a lot of strange people coming in our grocery store
Yes, ma'am.
that really could have something, so I wish they would do something different at Lowe's. Charles,
Yeah.
you could try to encourage them to.
I know there's lots of people over from Seminole.
Oh, Lubbock, Midland, I've heard them. It's a
I
lot,
recognize those people.
yeah.
Is on a weekend for some reason.
It's only gonna get worse because of Porter's. They may be doing that now, Renee, but since the second confirmed case in Gaines County is an employee at Porter's, which they put out a letter saying what all they've done since then. But that's gonna put people not wanting to go to Porter's, and it's gonna have them coming over to Sigre's, because United has already got it in place that only so many people at a time can go in Seminole, and Lowe's is gonna have to step up their game.
Yes, for sure.
I'd like to just mention that I have 2 sisters and my granddaughter works at Porter's, and my granddaughter's been here with me since Friday. Just thought I'd mention that.
Mm.
And under self-quarantine or just,
She just came for the Easter weekend and she did not go to work today. She's wanting not to go to work for the next week. She was around that guy 9 days ago.
oh,
And what about with his letter, as to how long ago it's been since he was at work?
He was at, the last day he was at work was April the 5th. And he was confirmed with it yesterday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
So isn't there some protocol for you getting tested then, your granddaughter and you?
If you have symptoms, I think I had talked to Zach about it, and he said that if you show any symptoms, fever, sneezing, coughing, that type of thing, to call the number at UMC and tell them what your symptoms are, and they will tell you whether or not you can come down and take a test. Right now, neither one of us have symptoms, so.
yeah, Charles, I think we need to, if we have to call corporate Lowe's.
Yeah, I have talked to the, I guess that's the area manager in, I think it's Littlefield. And he went ahead and talked to Human Resources, and they called me. And he told me he was going to try to put a limit of 20 people. I asked him what would be a comfort number. He first said 30, and I said, well, what about 20? I don't think he's doing that either, but I will go
I
back.
heard that Steve used to manage it. I heard his wife is tested positive.
Say what? Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I went in there one day and they were counting people. And I was like, what's going on? And then I was in there like a week later, which was just Thursday, Friday. They said, oh, we quit doing that. We couldn't keep up with it.
I'll go back again because it's not going to go away. I'll do it again.
And they don't even turn in city lights.
You might mention the way that the United and Seminole, they've got these little picks. They give you some hand spray, some hand sanitizer. They hand you a pick. You go get your groceries and you give that pick back to the cashier, and they give you more hand sanitizer, and you check out and you leave. But you have to have a pick to get in, and it's like this little metal, not like dangerous thing, but like this little stir.
I was told straw.
A straw, it's similar to a straw, but you get a straw and you take that in, and then you turn it into your checker, and then once so many straws were given out, then no more could go in.
No more.
I'm sorry, Kendra has a question, I know. that she's been trying to, she's too quiet.
Well, no, it wasn't a question. I was just going to tell you as a business owner what I recently did. But I had an employee ask me Thursday, or tell me Thursday, that she was leaving for Easter weekend, traveling non-essentially to Dallas to visit family. And I told her that if she chose to do that, she would have to remain away from here for 2 weeks, for 14 days. She went ahead and did it. And so she's not working for me for the next 14 days.
Good deal.
Good choice.
Good choice.
Good.
Totally agree.
Okay, next, I guess we talk to the new chief. You have anything to? Rick, are you there?
Well, it's good to be here. I hope everybody can hear me okay. This is a different setup than the last time we spoke. I'm on my laptop today. Somebody have a question?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
The mayor was asking for anything unusual that's going on. I just wanted to clear the air, make sure everybody was aware of what's going on with the police department. I have enjoyed meeting all the officers. We are working well together. We're pulling together, and we're started the inventory, and my uniforms are being ordered, and I found some old uniforms that might fit me as well. That's a good thing. And I guess some of the things that you may have heard this last week, Tuesday we had a report taken by an officer that was looked at, and it was investigated with professionals outside of our police department, and the information on the that was coming, I guess, from the citizens was very, well, I don't know how else to say it other than exaggerated. And they were very upset, and it's understandable for the things that were being alleged in the allegations and stuff was something that happened between two families. The people that were contacted, I guess, knew people, the Texas Rangers, and they came in as well. And after we finished our investigation, we handed it to the DA's office here in Gaines County, and the DA went through it, and they found the same thing that we did, that there's little to no evidence that to proceed. So the Gaines County DA's office has also dropped the case. The Rangers are just finishing up the investigation and tying up any loose leads, and I presume it'll be over with here probably in the next week. So I just wanted to get that out of the air, because I heard there was a lot of I was contacted by Ruben, and I was contacted by other folks, and so I figured I'd put you guys' mind at ease that we're okay, everything's good. I know it was some pretty harsh language out there, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask me now, please.
Thank you.
I have a question for you, Rick. I know you, and I know this is something everybody's going to want to hear about. Where are we on the Tahoes? Have you been able to find out anything on that front?
Knowing that I'm a guy that's, in the spot that I'm in, it's my business to make sure I know. And thank you for asking that question, because I spoke with the individuals this morning, as a matter of fact, to check the status on the Tahoes. The guy named, Halen Kirby, spoke with him. He was actually in the vehicle, and he's mounting the final stuff in it this morning. And there was a little bit of organization of how to mount stuff, and I fixed that problem for him real quick on the phone. And he said, we're trying to get these done real quick. They should be coming out here hopefully by the end of this week. So last week they had to go to another shop to have some other work done. Once they got done with some initial work, they got the vehicles back. Now they're working on them to get them finished up. So I'll keep in contact with Halen, and they should be done hopefully by the end of this week. And maybe we'll have them delivered to go pick them up either at the dealership where we bought them from, or they may be delivered here. I'm not sure yet. I'm still working with Halen on that, and that should be it. Not this Friday, they should be completing it. By Monday, we should be getting the information to get the vehicles or have delivered here or pick them up at the dealership.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's good.
Charles? Mayor,
Ruben?
yes, sir. I have a couple of questions for the chief. I noticed last week we had abandoned Tahoes on the side of the road. Is that a new trick or something like that? Obviously, it got me. That was, I mean, it's pretty good. I like it. I just didn't know where that idea came from you or from somebody else, but that's pretty good. I mean, it's a good idea there.
In various other police departments I've worked for, I've done this before, but I got to give credit where credit is due. JP Sellers is actually the one who brought it up with the mayor, between me and the mayor and him. He brought it up, and I said, let's reinstitute that. And we've been parking the Tahoes in various places, and it has been working. We watched the traffic slow down on the main highway thoroughfare coming through the cities.
That's good. That's good. And then another question, are our officers being protected wearing glove masks whenever they pull over somebody, or are we holding back on traffic stop because of this, or how's that going?
That's a really good question. And Ruben, I'll tell you, we have PPE, and I got to give kudos to Dana. She's taken really good care of us, making sure she picked us up some extra masks. We were starting to run low because we did have an active week last week. We did reach out to one of our residents who was under quarantine, and we just received more information on that individual is again after second testing with Lubbock is negative for COVID-19, and our officers are gloving up and masking up when encountering a police call. And the traffic, we are minimizing, streamlining the traffic a little bit, but we're still doing our job. Friday night, one of our officers actually was responding to a complaint in our city that there was somebody knocking on the windows from door to door. That officer actually caught the individual, and that individual had warrants for his arrest. And there was an arrest made. There was actually a resisting of arrest also, and officers along with Gaines County Sheriff's Department went ahead and apprehended that individual and took him and put him in Gaines County Detention Center there. So, but yes, we are using PPE, and I'm cautioning the guys, the absolute stuff that we have to do, let's get it done, and let's just take care. Let's be safe, but let's do our jobs.
All right, good. Another question, Mayor, on the police department, are we replacing Barbara Reynolds that was there, or are we gonna look for somebody, or we're just gonna go without a?
We probably, we need to think about that. I mean, I'm not sure if that's, I know she was working part-time, if we could find somebody part-time, I'm sure we may do that, but we need to think about it. If we really, really need somebody there, I mean, I don't know, maybe let the chief settle in and see what his workload looks like. And, if that warrants some assistance, we maybe look at it then.
Okay.
I think at this point, we just need to, we was trying to, when we started that, we wanted to try to keep somebody in the office most of the time. But we need to give that some thought. Maybe we'll look at it, think about it again at our next meeting.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. I don't know what anybody else thinks.
Mine too. I mean, she had talked to me a couple of different times, and the way she talked, she didn't have anything to do. So
yeah, that's what she was telling me. She actually, that's why she said she was going to leave, and then the last chief had promised her he was going to get her more involved, but I'm not really sure if that spot needs replacing at this point. We'll just kind of see how it works out.
Can I respond, Mayor?
Go ahead.
I agree with your assessment. I've looked through the paperwork and stuff, and I'm meaning no disrespect with what I'm fixing to say about the previous administrators over the department, but going through the records and the files and stuff and the things that are done around here, I'm gonna need probably a little time to catch up. There is some stuff that is behind that I need to catch up on for the department to keep us in good standing. I agree with your assessment. In about 3 or 4 months from now, I'll probably know if there'll be a minimal or no workload for an assistant.
Yeah.
a part-timer to help out in the office, we may not need it. So I agree with your assessment.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Shannon,
Anyone have anything else for the chief?
Shannon,
Shannon?
Where are you looking to be on the evidence room? Are we still looking at using the lady that we had talked to before to come in? Do we have a date set for her to come in? Or are you gonna do it, or where are we at with that?
That's an excellent question. What we're doing is currently we're doing what I was agreeing to when I was interviewed by you guys. I told you I would come in and review everything, look at the assets and resources for the police department, and that we would definitely be inventorying the department. Some of the city council has asked me or has instructed me and told me that you guys don't know what all you have here at the police department. And so I am already inventorying the vehicles, all the equipment in the vehicles by serial numbers and VIN numbers already started. And I'm also going to continue to do that here for the next week or so. At the same time, I've secured me an apartment here. I'll be moving in tonight. My truck is full of stuff to move in. And also the evidence rooms have been reviewed by me, and I had a meeting with the mayor about it. And I told him that they're small rooms and they look like a huge, gigantic headache. And there is a lot of work there, but it's not much. I told the mayor that we're not going to need to call in anybody. And I've contacted the DA's office as well to get in touch with me. And we've been here researching the criminal code of procedure on the destruction and the proper destruction of the stuff that we have that's contraband, i.e. firearms and of course narcotics and illegal drugs and things of this nature. And we'll get with them and we'll get whatever court orders we need to get the stuff destroyed properly and documented. And anything that we need to try to give back to the people who's stolen property or stuff that is not contraband or illegal to have, we'll do that. So at this point in time, it's going to be handled in-house. We won't need an outsource for this. This is not that big of a job.
Rick, there's one thing that we really need, and I've talked to the judge about it, and we've talked about it. We really need an inventory of everything in the police department because there's so much stuff over there. I didn't realize until I spent a lot of time over there, but there's lots of equipment and stuff over there that I don't even think we knew we got. So I sure would like to see a complete inventory of the material and equipment there.
Yes, sir. It's underway already and should have it ready by the next meeting. It'll be waiting to go to the next meeting. As soon as we get done with the inventory and you guys see all the stuff that you have, because we have found stuff that's in, piles of dust that has been here, electronic devices and stuff of this nature that we're documenting that is not being used or utilized at all.
Yeah.
But you guys you'll see that when you get it. As soon as we get done with the inventory, the evidence lockers 1 and 2 are both, we're going to hit those and get that out of the way. And we need to get all of this under control in-house first, and then, get the department in order. And then of course the department will be running smooth after that.
Good.
Mayor, I have a question.
Sure.
I had visited with you on the ATV that was parked at First Baptist Church. Do you know if it's been picked up?
No, well, Renee, can you?
Yes, sir.
It
It
has
has
been?
been. Yes, sir. It's
Yeah.
at the Public Works Building.
Yeah.
Okay.
The trailer 2 question, the trailer 2.
Yes, it's at the Public Works Building.
I was coming to see you. I heard of where it was, and people had told me it moved from the church over there. I was like, oh, I'll probably be getting to talk to Renee here pretty soon.
Yeah. I was asked to do that and I did it.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you, Renee.
No problem.
Anything else?
Hey, Chief, did you need somebody to help you move in, unload the truck, whatever? You need help?
Actually, there's a couple of officers that are standing out. They're over there in the office. I'm here in the police station, and they're waiting to help me move into the apartment down the
Okay.
street on Avenue K. But thank you.
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
Well, holler if you need help. I'll be
Thank you.
glad to help.
Well, again, Rick, welcome aboard. We're glad to have you.
Glad to be here.
We're doing hope we can make it work out. So we'll be, like I've talked to you, that I plan on having kind of weekly meeting with you. So we'll just work it in whatever we both got some time.
Okay, Mayor, I'm good for tomorrow morning or whenever. Just let me know.
Okay. Anything else for Rick?
Oh, no, no.
Nobody?
No.
No.
Okay, I guess, Dan, you have anything? Excuse me.
Just, I noticed that on the agenda this month is not listed to set the time and the time for the next meeting. So to avoid any protocol problems, Mayor, if you could just direct me, just tell me right now that you want to have the meeting on May the 11th, and that'll get it scheduled.
That is the next time.
The next regular session. You can call a meeting anytime you want.
Right.
So if you'll just call that, because I neglected to get it on the agenda.
Okay. Well, that sounds good to me. Just we'll do it the next May 11th, at the same time, 6
All right.
p.m.
I'm hoping that by the time that happens, I'm going to be getting the city our own Zoom account, try to get up to speed. Dana, I'm sure has got a lot to do without having to do this for us too. And I want to thank you, Dana, for not just this, but everything you've been doing for all of us.
For sure.
And, we'll have our own Zoom account, and hopefully we'll have a website running by then. Pictures or no pictures that we can advertise to when we post the agenda, put down a link, some way to invite the public to contact me or whatever, so that they'll be able to join the meeting. That's the last part that we have to get in order to stay in compliance, as loose as it is right now with the Open Meetings Act. I understand there's a pretty scathing article in the Austin American Statesman criticizing all Texas governments for taking advantage of the fact. There's going to be a lot of dust to settle, but right now everybody's just doing what they have to do. And I think we're in good shape. Well, hopefully we'll be in better shape next month.
Thank you. You don't want to have anything else?
Cindy?
Charles, can I discuss a couple of things? I'm sorry, my voice is terrible, but can I discuss a couple of things on the general ledger and also on Dan's report?
Yes.
Okay. Dan, you used to furnish us a report that was more itemized as far as expenses for each department. I don't remember what you called that.
Yeah, I think I do know the one you're talking about, Cindy.
Well, I was just noticing here on this last page of the one, it just says all departments. I guess it's you call it the council report?
Yeah, that's the title of it from
Okay.
Incode.
Well, on the last page is my main thing. Refresh my memory what this bottom line is. It says NA, and it's the $2 million and something dollars. Tell me exactly what, is that the loan that we have for the water system?
Yeah, that is that's let me get it up here.
Okay.
I'm sure I'm talking about the same thing.
Okay.
So are you talking about page 5, or what page are we talking about?
No, this is the one that has 35 pages.
Oh, okay, that's
Okay, maybe it is called a different page, a different title. The one you're
Detail,
talking about is just the monthly expenses. The monthly checks, actually. I'm just interested in totals.
yeah. Well, the only thing that comes to mind that's $2 million is basically the bond that we're paying off for the sinking fund.
Okay. Well, I just was noticing, and your department number 1 in this 35-page report, I guess it doesn't really have a name up here.
A department payment report is a
No.
23.
No, it's not that one. Let me get to it and I can tell you what you call it. I printed it out, so. Okay, it's 42 pages. GL detail versus budget.
Yeah, detail versus budget.
Yes.
And do you know what page you're looking at on that? Is it?
I'm looking at the very back page. That
Okay.
has the totals on it. Bottom page. Page 42, I guess.
All right, yeah, okay. Yeah, non-departmental, that's 2,265,300.
Yes.
That was, well, that's the total, I think, the total city budget. That's all departments added together. That page is the, like here it says Department 1, original budget, 1,037,650, current budget, period activity 93,000.
Current budget isn't 2 million something, is it?
Well, that's a total of all the city departments. That's the total budget, if I'm reading it right.
Of what we spent.
No, we're not that much. I'd have to find it out. But okay, let me just ask this one question.
Okay,
What is department number 1?
well, that's me. That's administration. And that covers a lot of stuff.
Okay, then let's go to a different one. What is department number 2?
That's the police.
Okay, so our budget is 500,000. We spent 52,000 last month. We're at
Right.
257.
Right.
Okay. Okay, well, I guess that was my question, what budget 1, because, our department 1, because there's $93,000. Is that the checks you've written, maybe?
Yeah, I'd have to get into that's not the checks that I've written so much. It's the expenses that have been charged to administration
Okay,
in the general ledger.
okay.
And
I was just,
yeah,
when you look at that bottom figure, it says we have 85,000 left and we still got several months to go is the only thing that's concerning me. So maybe I'm not looking at the right thing with
no,
$2 million credit in there.
no, I think you might actually be onto something there. Let me just back up to Department 1 here.
The figures just seem,
Yeah, well, I've been aware of it for some time that we're outside of our budget. I know in the police department we are, and I don't know so much just in administration because to look at this this general ledger, it is a little misleading sometimes, and I don't claim to be an expert at it.
I'm not, there was a different report you used to give us that was more broke down but yet just summarized at the same time.
Yeah, well, this detail versus budget is kind of the report this is telling the department heads and you all what money got spent against which expense accounts this month.
Okay.
And where we are on those individual budget line items on this.
Well,
But I know that we're kind of upside down or getting close to being, I mean, we're only, well, I guess we're getting close to halfway through the fiscal year now,
Yeah,
and we're more than halfway through our budget.
yeah. According
Yeah.
to them, a lot more.
And it brings up another thing that I just saw today, which is that we're really required to live within our budget unless there's an emergency, something that has come up, some extraordinary circumstance, in which case, and I've said this before, we would have to have budget amendments. In other words, we're going to have to open up the budget again, recognize where we need to change those figures and allocate that money. Now, you can do that because we do have budget reserves. Last year, we had $200,000 left over. That's a budget reserve. So you can bring that in, raise this budget by that amount, and you'd be all right. But I haven't had a chance to really think it through, or better than that, get with a CPA to see what the best way to do that would be. And it
Okay.
can't be Derek because he's our auditor. It would be a conflict of interest for him to advise us on anything but doing the audit. So
Oh, okay.
we'll have to find a CPA to look at it.
I'm gonna look through some of my paperwork and see if I can find that actual report I'm wanting. And I'll be talking to you about that and see if you can
Yeah.
send it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I really wasn't ready for
Me
that kind of thing. I mean, I was kind of ready to discuss that we're probably going to need to do that budget amendment thing at some point.
Okay, well, I would just like a better detail of what we've spent, what our budget is, what we've spent, what we have left.
Yeah,
Am I the only one, or does anybody else want that?
we can do that.
Yeah, I'd
I
like to
can
see
give you, yeah, I can give you, everything that's been spent every month so far. Go back through that. We can
And by the
reconstruct
month
it.
is fine. By the month
Yeah.
is fine.
Yeah, we can reconstruct that any way we want.
Okay,
And we can look at,
okay. My other question is your report on how our the investments went.
yeah,
Are you considering moving?
no,
School?
why would I? The First United Bank is paying better than Texpool right now.
That's why I'm asking you, are you considering moving Texpool back to your First United Bank?
We have about $300,000 in Texpool right now.
Yes, I see.
And Texpool is performing just underneath the other one. I really feel better having the funds diversified the way they are. Keep a foot in each door.
Okay,
You just never really know. We really don't know right now. I've got to be honest with you. We could in this economy find our banks failing. It could happen. We're not that far away from banks failing. And I think that the broader we diversify our portfolio, the better off we're going to be. So I don't want to cut ties with Texpool when we may have to find ourselves moving a lot of our money there quickly if the indicators are there.
I feel like our bank is very strong.
So do I. But
I do.
But this economy is very, very fragile right now, and nobody knows where it's going. And there is a possibility that banks could fail. I'm just being prudent.
Yeah, I certainly hope not, but
I don't expect it to happen. I don't expect it to happen, but I didn't expect a $3 trillion blank check to be written and wanting a couple trillion more and not knowing when we're ever going to go back to work.
Yeah.
Things can only stand what they can stand.
that's
This is
exactly
very
right.
scary. This is a very scary time for all of us.
It really is. Okay, well, you answered my questions. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, I guess I need a motion to adjourn.
I've got a comment if y'all have a minute.
Yeah,
With the stormy season coming up, if y'all are not signed up on Code Red, where we get the weather alerts automatically, I really encourage each one of you to, and to encourage your neighbors to, the Code Red system that the county bought does an automatic geolocate. So when you sign up and you put your home address, if you're not involved in the weather alert that's coming out, you won't get the call. But if the weather alert is for the area you're in, just like Dan, you won't get the ones that maybe we get here, but you're going to get some out there because everything's moving toward Loop and,
Yeah,
and Cedar Lake.
I actually got one Saturday, I think, that said, where you live on 126 is going to be a
Okay.
storm.
Okay, I'm on the always call, so it doesn't matter where in the county gets it, I get the call. But
Yeah.
it's a really neat feature on Code Red that it will geolocate you by how you sign up. I'm not sure. I think it still works on the city website where you can get on the city website and go to the Code Red login. If not, you can get on the Gaines County site and do that. Anyway, I encourage y'all as leaders in the community to do it, and then encourage your neighbors and your families to do it also. Anyway, it's pretty self-explanatory, but if you have any problems,
I've had it.
give me a call.
Yeah, I've had it for years. I love it.
Yeah, and what happened is when we did not have the weather part of it, and we added that, the county added that into their contract, everybody had to re-sign up. And so some of the people were not getting their alerts and thought they would. And so that was kind of a couple of years of indecisiveness there, but I think it's working well. But if somebody is not getting the calls, just re-encourage them to re-sign up
Okay, all right.
and be sure. That's all I
Okay.
got. Thank y'all.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you, Dana. Okay, I need a motion now to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
There, second?
Shannon?
Yes.
Shannon did.
Okay. Motion been made and second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Y'all, let's be safe.
Y'all too.
Aye.
Good night.
Good night.
Have a good evening, everybody.